Welcome to the Tribute Lounge. I'm Shane Johnsen, and today I have the pleasure of chatting with my good friend, robinvangyn. She's here on a special project we're going to discuss with you guys about shortly here. But I first want to present our presenters, which is Cole HEADWEAR. Those guys are sponsoring these episodes as we carry out the end of our season, and I just want to thank those guys again. And yeah, here we go. All right, so today I'm here with Robin. Robin, thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
This is awesome. We tried a couple weeks ago. You were in and out, checking out whitewater, and I think today we're going to start with that.
Yeah.
Why are you here? Why are you in Nelson? What is happening?
Well, I really like Nelson.
Good, of course.
Spend a lot of time here. The snow's good, the vibe's good. Love the town, love the people. But also, I am getting a small project off the ground called Research and Development, which is kind of a backcountry freestyle event, similar to the NST, not quite the NST. Those guys are like the next step, the next echelon. You know, this is a little bit more grassrootsy, kind of like bridging the gap between your average rider and like that top level pro.
Cool.
So we have invited, it was originally 8. I bumped it up to 12.
Good. More. That's better. That's going to be better.
I'm really bad at saying no. So of 12 of the best up-and-coming female snowboarders.
So this is like stage 1 to then possibly make your way to NST down the road.
We're actually giving away to the standout performer. We're giving a spot to the NST 2025.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, so the winner of this contest is going to the natural selection in 2025.
Okay, and you chose Whitewater as the venue, which is our home mountain, not far from here, and in a zone called Trash Chutes. Is that where it's gonna? Yeah. It's in Trash. Morrison, can you confirm that in the back there?
Can confirm.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Trash is somewhere that I have filmed on. One of my very first snowboard trips was with Snowboard Canada with Tyson Carmody. And Molly Milligan.
Awesome. Yep.
And we came out here and we filmed on Trash, and we literally didn't even get to see the whole thing because it's so good. You just like pick a zone and you just
and you just start to cycle that. Oh yeah.
And it's been in every a lot of the big snowboard videos. Yep, optimistic. A lot of Absinthe films because Justin Hostenick lives here.
Well, here now, yes, of course. So, and Longo was smashing that with Olivier for a little while last season too, and Blake Paul was in there. Yep. It was that's the perfect venue, obviously, for something like this. Can you divulge the rider list? Can you let me know who's coming?
Yeah. So for this year, we chose to do females only, and it wasn't out of the. Let's just say the reason for that was because there's half the amount of women versus men on the natural selection tour. Yeah. And I personally want to see there be equal parts men and women. So when I have been talking to Liam and Travis over the years, you know, there's always challenges, and one of the reasons was there's a lot of riders to put on a slope. Totally get it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And also they really saw quite a big gap in the abilities of the women who are competing on tour and the up-and-comers. And kind of what we saw last year with the duels is all the returning riders got through and all the new ones were kind of it was really hard to get through.
Yeah, absolutely.
So to us, we talked about it as an opportunity gap. And really what we're trying to do is just blow a little support into that gap and try and offer these up-and-comer women to the opportunity to try out the venue, to work with us and the crew to have that kind of similar format, to just try it out and get better at it. Yeah, and also in a little bit more grassroots way. That's less intimidating. There's definitely
that
something.
That zone will showcase some riding. It will. It's no joke.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. No, that's really cool. But can you let us know who's coming?
Oh yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah.
You asked me that, and I didn't answer the question.
No, that's okay. I didn't know if you could.
Yeah.
So this will be breaking news here on the lounge today
Yeah,
if we do so.
the riders list is a bit fluid. We have a couple people who haven't. They're like, well, see, I can almost. And like one of them
course.
is on the Freeride World Tour, and she's waiting to see if she gets into the fight.
gotcha.
You know, it's like a bit of like juggling going on. But right now we have Steffi Luxton, Katie Kennedy,
Sick.
Dara Reed McLean,
Sick.
Melissa Rattano,
wow.
Naima Antolin. I'm doing pretty good here, right?
Yeah. We're at 5.
You're at 5.
And they're all legit.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Annika Morgan,
Yes.
Zoe Vernon,
Okay. Yeah.
Madison Blackley,
We're at 8.
Marissa Krazak, Mia Jones, possibly Kennedy Deck, possibly Emma Crosby.
Wow.
So, and I know I'm missing one person
Very
there
cool.
because and we're bringing a mystery rider from Burton. Yeah, so I think there's a rider. I don't know her last name. That's why I called her the mystery rider. But it's one of Burton's picks for one of their best prospects at the NST, and
that's
her name's
cool. Yeah.
Telma. Yeah, out of Europe.
Oh, see, and I'm drawing a blank here too.
Yeah.
We should know this.
We really should.
We'll drop that right below because
Yeah.
we'll know once we finish
But apparently
this.
she's like the hot shit. So
Oh, I love that.
We are
Mystery
hoping-
rider.
yeah.
And I like the idea that this is a stepping stone to arguably, in my opinion, one of the greatest events we've ever had in snowboarding. Travis, Liam, thank you guys. It really is. And you won. You did win. You
Yeah.
did win NST, which is
did.
kind of a big deal. And you ended up with a Ford Bronco. Are you sponsored by Ford now? Did that happen?
it was actually already in the works. But the thing was they in the Ford Bronco program, they actually like lease you, they give you a car.
Yeah,
To like use for a while, and then you got to give it back. But then I like won the Bronco, and I was kind of like,
Already got a Bronco,
well,
guys.
I mean, what now?
Oh, that's
So yeah, I
awesome.
worked with them for a year, and yeah, it was great.
That's awesome.
I won a
Robin.
snowmobile too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was legit.
Yeah.
Well, I will say, Robin is one of the hardest working humans in snowboarding. You really are.
Thank you.
We talked about this earlier, how we both have those personalities where we take on a lot. And this event, I know, is going to kick ass because you're at the helm of it. But in leading up to something like the culmination of your riding life, your experience, your snowboarding, to get you from, what year did you start snowboarding? How old were you?
I was 16.
So you were 16,
Yeah.
and then to get to be somebody that wins NST, that's no joke.
Yeah.
So
I'm still in shock.
you should be. You should be. It's amazing. It's amazing. We talk a lot about gear on this show. I really wanted to introduce what Robin was bringing to our community and bringing to the snowboard community. But I definitely want to shift gears into riding as well.
Yeah.
So when when you're a 16-year-old, you have you evolved into one of the best free riders on the planet, in my
Thank you.
opinion.
That's so nice.
Everyone make sure you watch Robin's part in Depth Perception. Fluidity, fun, proper free riding on really legit terrain. Like
Thanks,
no
yeah.
joke terrain.
It was fun.
Oh, that is my favorite part you filmed.
Oh,
by
nice,
far.
thanks.
But for people that are watching, everybody's trying to these stepping stones in snowboarding, right?
Yeah.
We're trying to get better. We're trying to, what clicked for you from 16-year-old Robin as you evolve as a snowboarder? Where was it and what was it? Were you riding with certain individuals that that just upped my game? How does somebody find that where they really can then have the confidence to go into stepping stones, bigger terrain, things like that?
Well, I think the thing that we don't talk about is we build it. We build confidence. We don't just have it.
Yeah.
And intuition, we learn it. It's all like, people are like, oh, I just have this gut feeling. You're like, yeah, to me, that's accumulation of like your experience
Yep.
in the mountains over time. All those little moments that you like log in your brain and so all of this stuff kind of like, you build the confidence, you build the intuition. For me, right away, I was literally reading snowboard magazines before I had actually gone snowboarding. Like I was so interested by something different.
Yep.
And I had skied I skied a little bit growing up, but I lived on Vancouver Island, so it wasn't like I was going every day. I'd go.
No,
like,
Mount Washington's a mission. You
Yeah.
know, that's a big deal any
Yeah.
day you go there.
Yeah,
For
we
those
actually
that
went
know.
to Silver Star quite a bit.
cool.
Yeah,
Vernon, yeah.
we had friends with a house there, and they kind of let our families share, and so we would go there, you know, a couple weeks out of the year. But really, I just was interested by the culture, and that's what really drew me in. And right away, it's so weird because I just had this feeling that like, this is my thing. Like, I love doing this. And I think I was just in, you know, when you're going and doing it, it's just so fun.
Yeah.
And to me, like, fun is always what drives me. And I think like going from that moment of being really bad at snowboarding, terrible, I just wanted to like, and I was like reading snowboard magazines, I want to snowboard like that. So I'd have like these little tiny goals, you know, and they would become bigger goals as like each one was checked off. You know, the first one was like, you know, go in the park and do like 3 tricks in a row. And then the next one was like, get a shot in a snowboard magazine, Ashley Barker, Snowboard Canada. And then like go on a trip with like Leanne Pelosi. And I actually went on a trip with Leanne and Tara Dikitas, which was mind blowing.
Yeah.
And just like, I set these like small goals for myself, and then I would just accomplish them like one at a time. And I never really wavered. You know, like I was distracted at times. I went to university in Calgary, and you know, there were times where I was like, this isn't working. Like, I can't make this a career. I can't, like, you know, and that's totally fine. You don't have to. But I think to me, it was like, I was so passionate about it that that other plan of doing something else, it was just like not really an option for me. So
I love it.
And
There
I
is
come
no
from-
plan B. I love it.
No, there wasn't.
No, that's great.
Yeah. So, and then to getting here, same thing. It was just like, you know, try and win video part of the year. Okay, let's try and do that, right?
Yeah,
And it's
you
just
did
like,
that.
I did that.
You did
and
that.
then like, you know, got invited to go out with Travis, which I was like, not intimidating at all. You know, and then
No,
from
because
there,
you know it's going to be a full-on day if you're out with that man. There's no question.
Yeah, totally.
There's no, it's fifth gear, sixth gear all the time with him. So
totally.
absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. So I learned a lot riding with him and riding with Austin and Brian. And really, like, when you look at it from like a bird's eye view of like what you've done since when you come from to where you are now, it's just being fluid and being able to like learn and evolve as you go. And like being all in. That's the big one.
Were there certain riders you spent time with that you felt really helped evolve your style, or was there somebody you would key into? Like, I know for me, it was that man right there.
Yeah.
You know, CK was everything for me, especially when I was younger. But did you have somebody like that, you know, that you were riding with or looked up to in that way?
Yeah, I was riding with Leanne a lot at the beginning.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
Yeah. And she really like took me under her wing. And so basically I would just go with her, see what she did, and then like try and do that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You know, or like try and do that but different. You know, and then I ended up shooting with Hannah, same thing. It was like, okay, try and go that big, but go that big and do something different. So, you know, it was like kind of like taking inspiration from and then building it and making it your own. And then the same thing with Trav, you know, going out with him and being like, wow, like the way that the confidence he has in the mountains, the like, the navigational skills, the style that's like really large. I don't know how to like explain that.
I get
Everything
what
he does
you're
is
saying.
like massive in size, but also just as a vibe. It's big.
But the confidence has to pour over to the team
Totally.
as well, and that's kind of why I asked that, because it's unique that the people we spend time with do shape how we spend time in the mountains. John Buffrey is someone else that we've both spent a lot of time with, who has definitely shaped how I ride and how I approach the mountains, and you, I'm sure.
Yeah.
We both guided at BALDFACE as tail guides, and you know, we got to work under John Buffrey, which we're both very lucky to have done so.
Totally.
For sure.
Yeah, definitely being on the guides team was a huge part of like that personal style, because it's not so much like, you know, how you grab your board and how you tweak, but it's how you approach the mountain and like how you kind of become like a servant of the mountain. You know, you're like, okay, Like I thought I knew something and now I don't. And even working with the guides team and in avalanche work, it's I don't know how to say it. It's almost like it's humbling.
We don't get to control things out there.
No.
You become one with your environment and flow with it.
And you're not like special in that guides room. You know, you're not like a pro. You're like one of the guides. So like you become part of this. It levels the playing field right away. And it's really great. I think it's one of the greatest gifts I've had in my career is like working with that guiding team. Because every time I'm there, it's just like level playing field and like, you know, and then you move forward. Yeah. But like also recently riding with Austin, it's the same thing. I take tons of inspiration from him.
I don't doubt it. He's a beast.
Yeah. But also just the way he like has fun with snowboarding. That to me has been a really big shift in the last few years. Right before NST is, you know, we started dating during like depth perception. And he convinced me during that shoot, he was like, you know, don't try and ride like Trav. Don't try and ride like me or Brian. Like you're here because you ride like you. Yeah. And like you need to show up.
Those are good words.
Like,
Those
and it literally changed the entire trajectory of everything that I did. And just riding with him in the mountains in general, it's like I can do it my own way, but I definitely am like looking at how much fun he's having. And I'm like, that's what it's all about.
Well, I will say again, your part in depth perception is amazing. We'll have that linked below. Make sure you do watch that film. It's fantastic.
Yeah, thank you.
So a little bit more on evolution. I like to get into this stuff. Sponsorship. So who was your first sponsor? So as you're making your way along.
Roxy was my very first sponsor.
What? And you were with them a long time, eh?
They were my first sponsor, and then I left because I didn't feel like they were kind of ignoring me, to be honest. I was like,
crazy.
I just want to be one of the Roxy girls. You know, I was so excited. I was working at Mission, Skate and Snow in Calgary at the time.
Awesome, yeah.
And they flowed me like a kit once a year. But I would always like send them my clips and send them my photos. Like, hey, I would do like a full report. You know, when you go to university, you learn to do like
so you're bringing that mentality into the chaotic world
like,
of snowboarding.
Here's my season report. You know, it's like what do they call it in the office?
Oh, geez. I don't want to talk office right now. I've been doing bookings for next winter for weeks.
Okay, we're not talking about the office.
But, doing
PTS, PST reports, PTS, doesn't matter. Anyway, I was doing a report.
Data reports.
I was doing a data report, and then they kind of were ignoring me, and I was like, oh, I don't think it's going to happen. And I went to SIA with a CD that was like my sponsor me video. Oh, wow. And I went to like West Beach. I went to Section. I went to Tech 9. I went to BCA.
Vegas?
Yeah, Vegas.
Vegas, yeah. We did a lot of those back in the day. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I did a few. I have to say I kind of miss it.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe somebody try to make that happen again. We won't get kicked out of Vegas. We basically got kicked out of Vegas, I think, is what eventually happened.
You know, so. I think it was mostly Volcom's fault.
There was. Yeah, we can't get into it. There was an incident at the Luxor too with a bunch of the guys from Orange. And anyway,
we like Volcom, but it was their fault for sure. They got the most drunk, and they had the most. They had hay like everywhere one year,
and I was like, kicked out of Vegas. Only the snowboard industry could have got kicked out of Vegas.
Yeah. Well, anyway, it was a group effort.
Yeah, we miss Vegas. Bottom line, we miss Vegas. Maybe it'll come back. Yeah. Somebody out there make that happen. But
totally. And then
so from Roxy, which other sponsors?
I went to Roxy. I went to Section, Tech 9.
Oh, Tech 9, yeah. Wow.
I had some rail shots.
You were riding streets.
I was riding streets.
Okay, all right.
I got a couple.
Good.
You know,
yeah.
I did some stuff.
Awesome.
And then I got recruited back to Roxy.
Cool.
And I actually rode for Ninja Suit for like a split second in there.
Oh, you should get that sponsor again. Austin's got that sponsor.
It's a really good one,
sponsor.
I love what they do there.
There's a plug for Ninja Suit, but I wear that. I have the Pro, I have the Standard. They're all amazing.
Yeah, and then I went back to Roxy for 13 years.
And now you are with one of my all-time favorite snowboard companies, and Jones with Elena. Like it's so rad that is perfect.
Yeah.
Arc'teryx and Jones. Like you couldn't have landed in a better spot.
And Yeti.
Yeti.
Yeah.
And let's keep going. Spark R&D.
Sierra Nevada.
Yakima.
Yakima.
Ford.
Fordini.
Cordini?
Actually, don't ride for Ford anymore. But.
I kind of thought it was a joke, but I love it. That's,
Yeah, no, I don't ride for Ford anymore.
Yeah,
I was like, yeah, that was a great 1 year.
Yeah.
It was great. It was fun while it lasted, but ultimately, I think the social media asks were,
Well,
I wasn't great at it. I
it's
didn't do
lot
a
of
great
work.
job.
It's a lot of work.
I just,
Robin,
I
any of that
couldn't,
stuff.
I couldn't deliver. I think they should have content creators. Like they had a lot of photographers and videographers working in this ambassador program, and they were doing great. But like, I'm not that. I am an athlete.
It's a lot for
I'm a snowboarder.
anybody. I mean, I handle some of ours. Morrison in the back there, our filmer, he
Yeah.
handles so much. Mark, thank you. He's the best at that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you'll burn out.
Yeah.
It'll get you. It's a lot of
I
work.
didn't necessarily get fired. They just didn't renew my contract. So
All right, but that's a legit list of sponsors, no doubt. And is Arc'teryx backing R&D?
yep.
Okay, that's very
Yeah.
cool.
So
too.
is Yeti.
Right on.
Yeti's our
Yeah.
presenting
Yeah.
sponsor. We got Arc'teryx behind it. We got Jones behind it. We got Burton behind it.
Right on.
So yeah, and we got Tribute behind it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We've sent our team up to help Robin sort of shape what the course is going to look like, and I'm excited to see it. Hopefully Morrison will be filming with them as well.
Will be.
Yeah, he will be. Good.
Like, stop saying hopefully because
Nope.
I put him down already.
I love it. I love it, as he should be. He's excellent.
yeah.
He's
Yep.
excellent. Okay, well, let's talk gear. That's
Okay.
what we do on this show. And Robin was kind enough to bring her board,
Yeah.
which
It's stickerless, unfortunately.
that's okay. That's okay. But I would expect that you would be riding a Stratos. This definitely makes sense.
Yeah, I love this board.
Now,
Look, it's still wet
it's
from
still
today.
wet, which
Yeah.
is great because she was up at Whitewater all day today.
It was sick. It was really good.
So a few years ago, Robin came in the shop and she was trying to find a set of boots, sorry. And
Yeah.
I won't get into what brand they were or anything like that, but it was a specific boot that
They
was
were
older.
They were Burton.
Yeah, and it was an older one, and I had chased them down, and I thought I found them. They were going to ship them from Australia or something like that. But that's when I realized you actually were a bit of a gearhead. Because anybody that was that in tune with her boots and connection to the snowboard, I was like, okay, no, we can talk gear.
Yeah, very much matters to me.
So I would like to start there, because to me, I tell everybody the two most important things you ever buy are going to be your boots and your goggles. If those two aren't operational, your day's done.
Yeah, that's true.
Right away, your day's cooked. So what boots are you riding now?
I actually have kind of a mismatched boot. You'll be so grossed out when I tell you. But those Burton leather Fry collab boots.
Yeah.
So the same ones I had for depth.
Wow. Okay,
I
you
kept
found
the
more of
liner.
those?
And I was wearing them today.
That's like 6 years old, isn't it?
It's gross.
Yeah,
I
that's
know,
awesome.
But like they're really warm and they make my feet feel good.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it's all about. And I put them inside the Vans Viaje.
Cool.
The Viaje
That's a good shell.
Really good boot.
Really good shell.
boot. I
Yep.
like that they have those stiffeners.
Yeah.
Because I do feel like they're a little bit soft for me, but when I put the stiffeners in, they're a little bit better.
Cool. Well, and Jeremy Jones was on the show, and he brought up how he'll never, ever ride brand new liner with a brand new boot.
Yeah.
He always drops in his old liners, and it really, that was like a aha moment for me too, where I was like, oh man, of course.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense. So you're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
You're just breaking your shells in with the same liner over and
Well,
over again.
eventually I move into a stiffer liner when the
Good.
boot gets like worked in, because I do like kind of a medium stiff boot. Like I rode Solomon's for a little bit. The 32 Team 2s were really great.
That's a great boot.
It's a great boot, yeah. The liners in the 32s they aren't super comfortable for me. And I rode the Elena
They take
boots.
some work, for sure. Like Elena's boot, too. I know with some of the gals upstairs, it takes some boot fitting and shimming and this and that. Because, those intuition liners, you need somebody that knows what they're doing, but then you can get them pretty dialed.
You really
for
need
sure.
to work on your liner and like get the right fit, take the time. Like I
Absolutely,
had my friend Tyler Ravel, I had him shave off some of the liner of the Elena boots because they were just too tight in the width around my metatarsal, which is like where the knuckle of your foot, basically. And I had him shave it off, and it was like all of a sudden they just were great.
It'll flex better, too.
Because like nobody's foot is the same, and you can't make a boot that's going to fit everybody's foot the same. So you just have to like do a little bit of work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it is the most important thing. I always say it. Now moving on to your bindings.
Yeah.
These are the Mercuries?
Meteorite.
Meteorites. That's right. That's right. And with the skate tech system, which really, I love it.
Me too.
It anti-chatter. There's there's a lot of benefits to this, and it's sort of, I don't know, I find it just pressures your board differently, right? Toe edge, heel edge. It's really responsive, but it's got some absorption to it.
Yeah, I responsive is the word, performance is the word. It's being able to use your feet to move your snowboard is what it is. And I actually have been riding the skate tech for quite some time because I used to ride for Now. And that's where the skate tech came from, was JF, Pelchat, Genius. And yeah, I love just being able to kind of feel your feet move and have a bit of flexibility under the binding is really nice. So I do love that. And then I kind of like a medium stiff high back. And so that's why I'm riding these ones. Some of the other models are a little bit too soft, but like for a freestyle day, they're great. But for what I do, I want something that's a bit stiffer, so.
Cool, and I'm noticing, so Robin has forward lean on her back foot, none on her front. Did you know that?
Oh.
Was that on purpose?
I don't know.
It's a common thing. Fawcett and I have actually just swapped. Now
There's just a little on the back. Okay.
Yeah, just a little.
Yeah.
It's not like you're riding a half pipe.
No,
here.
but that's normal, right?
Yeah. Well, we just swapped, actually. We went a little front and took it off the back.
So what does it do?
Well, it's not forcing, but it's helping you keep your knee bent to a certain degree. So everybody finds a sweet spot with forward lean.
So you don't snowboard like
to
this?
keep their, yeah, so you're not just...
I've been doing this for like 20 years, and I'm pretty stoked.
So a little more on the front, you never know. It could work. But
I'm not changing it.
forward lean, yeah, I'll sometimes run nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. I have a pair of the Orions, which is the very surfy version that Jeremy and JF came up with, and I run those totally zeroed.
Yeah.
Super fun, because then I can straight leg to go heel side, and I kind of like that. I like being straight up like that.
Geriatric snowboarding.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, we can't always be compressed.
Yeah.
But I think the coolest thing, just because I ride it as well, is the Stratos.
Yeah.
We've reviewed this board multiple times. It's made our top 5 multiple times. This is truly a quiver killer. Like, this is a snowboard I could take anywhere. I have it in 2 sizes. And if I'm going to BALDFACE, I'll take the bigger one. If I'm just shredding groomers, I'll ride the 56.
Yeah.
Because it is a board that'll do everything. Now, how long was this the only Jones board you went to right away? You were just like, that's the shape.
No.
You rode a bunch.
I rode a bunch.
And this ended up being the winner?
I mean, I wouldn't say it has been my quiver killer, because I do love the flagship. It really depends on the conditions.
Yeah.
For me, if I'm riding at Baker, I'm probably going to be riding the flagship because it's chunkier. It's just bumps. It's bumps, quick
and that
turns.
board's stiff.
Yeah.
That board is stiff and responsive.
It's stiff, but I really like it. It's got like a really good, like I feel like I can charge.
Yeah.
Whereas like this one, it charges, but not like the flagship. The flagship is like tried and true. You can trust it at all times.
And I wish I had the side cut data, because I know, having ridden them both too, the flagship, will put it below, but it definitely has a different side cut radii. And I think it's the way it enters a turn longer. It's probably slightly less side cut than this model. And that's,
But I do love this board on a pow day.
Same.
It's like just floaty. It's floaty. You can freestyle with it.
softer in the nose, for sure. It's a little more chill up front. Still a fairly stiff tail, so if you ever get too far in the back seat, it kind of corrects you a little bit.
I would say that this is kind of like my all-round board, and then the flagship is something that I'll ride like, if I'm in Alaska and I want something like, a bit bigger and stiffer, I'm going to go flagship like 55. And then if I'm riding at Baker, I'm going to go, flagship 52.
Yeah.
And then when I'm out here, it's just a little bit softer terrain. Yeah. Baker's like pretty hardcore at times.
Snow's lighter out here. It is.
Yeah,
Baker's a little more damp. It's a heavier snowpack. It's just the way it is.
It's a lot bumpier.
So, what size is this one?
This is a 52.
52. And how tall are you?
I am 5'4".
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 52, 55, that makes perfect sense, for sure.
I think I really like a 51 as like kind of a everyday resort board. And I love a 53, But the 55 flagship, it's a lot of board.
Yeah,
Like,
but I'm into longboards right now. I've been riding 6.1s. I'm
Yeah.
only 5.7. Like, it's fun.
Yeah,
It's fun to ride
it is
longboards.
super fun. And then if I'm having like a park day, I might go to a 49, but I
Yeah.
never go below that.
Cool.
And whenever like a lot of people ask me like online, like, what size board should I get? This is my weight and whatever. I'm like,
We get that all the
just
time. Yeah.
size up a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of people are buying really small boards.
No,
I'm
thank
like,
you for saying that. Like,
think you need to
I've been
go
trying to
bigger.
size folks up too. I agree.
Yeah, it will make you a better snowboarder long term if you can learn to control it and like get used to it.
Exactly,
You know,
Robin.
the learning curve is way harder if you always stay on a small board. On a pow day, you're gonna struggle. It's just like, just size up.
Yeah. That
It's
3
like
centimeters or 4 centimeters, it's not that crazy.
It's really not.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it does matter.
That's good
You
advice.
know,
No,
like
that's
52
really
to
good
55
advice.
is a big jump. It seems like a couple centimeters, but it's a big jump.
Well, you get more surface area often in the waist.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get a wider nose, and often because they're meant for somebody that could be heavier than the two of us, you're getting a stiffer board, which is going to make you a better rider. It
Totally.
usually does.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's great advice, Robin. Thank you for that. That's cool.
Yeah.
All right, well, getting into that, your Arc'teryx gear,
Yeah.
jacket, pants, 3-layer gore. What are you wearing there?
Oh, actually, this year I decided not to get new gear, and I've just been riding vintage
cool.
Arc'teryx.
Cool. Made in Canada vintage Arc'teryx? Like, are you finding
Yeah.
the old? See, I still have some of that too. and
Yeah.
it
So
is-
2004, I have a 2004 pair of men's bibs, and
that's
then
so
I have
cool.
a 2004. I think it's a Alpha, and it's like a two-tone red. I also have it in like periwinkle blue.
Yep, yep.
And then I have another piece from Recut, which is basically it's made from excess raw material. So whatever they, when they get to the end of the roll and they can't make a new jacket out of it, but they could make like half a jacket.
Yeah, yeah.
Then they piece together what they have to make a jacket, and they're like limited, one of a kind.
Yeah.
You can only get them in store. You can't order them online. I don't think. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah, I don't think you can.
But you can order the Regear vintage or like any sort of old outerwear through the Arc'teryx site, which I'm like really excited about. So it's on the Regear site. So
Yeah,
on the Arc'teryx.com, you can go to Regear, and they have a whole store of
right
old
on.
gear that's
Yeah.
been fixed,
Yeah.
and it's awesome. I'm like really into that movement. But if I were to have ordered something, I'd be riding the Sentinel Relaxed. That's like the snowboarder's kit.
Yeah, the new fits.
The new fit is good. It's big, so
Yeah.
I'd say it's like almost true to size. Like I'm a size 10 pant, which seems crazy because I'm a size 4 or 6 in like jeans, which is like a 28. But I size to a 10 because I like it baggier.
Yeah.
And it's quite big, but it's a really nice fit, and the jacket
cool.
too. Yeah.
No, I do love that a little bit of the 90s are back in that. I remember my
Yeah.
old West Beach kit from 92 was, I wore a large and I was 14 years old. And
Totally.
it was like,
Yeah.
but big stances, it looked proper. It went with the vibe. Okay, probably the most important part of your kit would be that beanie you're wearing. Who made the beanie that's
This
on?
is a Olivia Kelly beanie.
I'm lucky enough to have one of those too. Pretty
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, they're so nice. Actually, she was making a few and like posted like this color, that color. I was like, can I buy one of those?
I know.
I was like, the pink one. And then I was up at BALDFACE for guides training and risk maturity. And she was like, oh, happy birthday. And I was like, I would really like to pay for this item. But she sponsored me.
Olivia's amazing.
Yeah, she's a beauty.
That's a legit sponsorship too.
Yeah, so I'm like, sponsored by Olivia.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, she's
well,
awesome.
I'm really looking forward to the team coming out for R&D. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's going to be fantastic. I'm excited that Robin's presenting that and doing so here because NST moved to Revy, and I got a little bum that I don't get to see everybody anymore. So hopefully we can get some of the gals on the show.
Yeah.
That'd be super fun.
I'd love to do a little something.
We'll do something, absolutely. We can set the lounge up with couches. We can do whatever. So that'll be coming soon. And again, thank you guys for watching. Robin, thank you for coming. That was
Thanks
super
for having
fun. That was
the best
super
shop
fun.
in Nelson. Thanks for always
appreciate
supporting us and being the core part of snowboard culture.
Thank you. Thank you so
we
much.
appreciate you.
All right, guys, until next time, we'll see you soon. Go Borden.